Hi, I'm DeBartolomeo. Welcome to Training Minutes. In this month's segment, we're going to deal with a construction accident. As we can see here, we have a large concrete drainage cylinder. A construction worker has gotten his legs pinned under the cylinder. This cylinder weighs several thousand pounds, and as we can see, it's round, so it's inherently going to be unstable. The challenge we're going to have in lifting this is to keep this cylinder stable so it doesn't roll one direction or the other. The first thing we need to do is begin stabilization of this cylinder. The firefighters are going to come in and place a wedge under the bell housing. It's going to be the first step we do in stabilization. The next thing we do is we're going to set our step chocks. In this scenario, the step chocks are going to act as our main body of stabilization. When we set our step chocks, we've got to try to offset them on the pipe. We don't want those step chocks to butt together when we lift this pipe. That's going to negate some of our stabilization. So we want to take a mark and ensure that they're offset on either side of the pipe. Okay? Because this pipe has a tendency to roll one direction or the other, we're going to utilize a 6-foot hook to keep the firefighters out of the potential zone where this pipe could roll. Our pipe is now stabilized. We're going to get down and set our bags. For this scenario, I've chosen to use a 15-ton bag, mainly because of the shape. The rectangular shape is going to allow me to set that in there, and it's going to give me more surface area. I want to try to set the bag under the pipe as close to the victim as possible. Okay? As we can see, we're working with an angled pipe, so what we want to try to do is get that bag up on an angle so that it contacts the underside of the pipe. In order to do that, we're going to take a 4x4 block, lift the bag up, slide the block in so that the bag comes securely, snugly with the underside of the pipe. In order to prevent that block from kicking out, when we inflate this bag, there's going to be a tremendous downward pressure. That downward pressure is likely to push that block out. In order to prevent that, we're going to take our wedges and wedge this block in place. We want to ensure that both sides are set uniformly. The far side, the bag is set good. Our side here looks to be set and locked in. We're ready to start to lift this pipe. As we lift, the two firefighters manning the step chocks are going to use the 6-foot hooks and continually push those step chocks in as we gain lift. All right, we're just about ready to perform this lift. What we've done on our controller is we've employed the use of the Y so that we can get even air dispersed to both bags. In addition to that, we've added an inline shutoff to the Y so that if one bag makes contact earlier than the other bag, or one bag begins to inflate a little more, we can shut that bag down and inflate the other bag to even it out. We really want to stress an even, controlled lift here. Because of the natural round shape of the pipe, we don't want to send this pipe in motion. So we've employed a Y and the inline shutoffs on our controller. We're all set. We're ready to lift this pipe.
Up slow. Stop. Up slow. Stop. Lock off green. Up on red slow. Stop.
All right, as you can see, we've got our desired height that we could get this construction worker out. What we want to do now is capture the load before we do the extrication. So if we come down on the airbags, the step chocks will carry the load. Come down on the bags. The bags are free of the pipe. We can move them out. We can come in and begin extricating this patient. Again, we want to focus on C-spine immobilization. We're going to use a long board. We're going to try to get it under his trunk and get him out from underneath this pipe. As we can see, this is a very coordinated evolution. We've really got to take our time in inflating the bag so that we prevent that movement of this cylinder rolling. Stabilization is a key here. Okay, step chocks are big, wedges are big. We want to prevent this cylinder from shifting one way or the other. We only had to lift about 3 or 4 inches, which is very easy to achieve. I'm Paul DeBartolomeo. Thank you for watching Training Minutes.